at that moment when it is finally time to turn our interior dreams into a reality. To which I say, go get it. But it doesn't go like this. Tried it, wouldn't recommend it. Will rob you till you're dry, but at least your house is cute. Am I right? Not quite. Mine went a little bit more like this. And you know what? You may even miss it, but your affordable, beautiful, and unique interior pieces are everywhere. You just gotta find it. Even if it's a little hard. Makes for a good story. So here's mine. This is the kind of video that makes me so happy. I get to sit down and talk to you about secondhand furniture for an entire video. Going back to how I probably should have started. Hi, my name is Kyoko. Welcome to my closet. And I am an interior architecture student. One more year to go. And I guess you could say I know a thing or two about design and a lot of things about the struggles of a humble budget. And yet still wanting to be actually happy in my space. Important, but often overlooked. I think it's also easy to get trapped in the mindset that only rich people can really enjoy their spaces because they can afford furniture that is, this gorgeous, but somehow this goddamn expensive. The price of some of these items are enough to actually make my bank go into debt 100 times over. Actually. But even if slow, I've managed to make a game out of collecting over the last 3 years secondhand furniture that is affordable and I actually love to put into my first home. So I'll go through some tips to find affordable yet cute pieces, and because old habits die hard, some styling ideas so you can recognize the potential of a good piece when you find it in amongst the Facebook marketplaces and the op shops. I find that the most interesting things are unexpected. It just matters how it fits with the other stories happening inside of your space. So, the sofa. To your most important landing strip. After your bed, the couch. The comfort area where you watch movies, read books, doom scroll, take midday naps. Go to when you just can't. Where you invite your guests to sit if you take. Has a lot of different names and a lot of different experiences. I found mine on Curated Spaces, where I kept my eyes open until they would finally drop a sofa that would mildly resemble a croissant or even belly rolls. Specific and apparently very achievable. For sofas, it's a bit inevitable that they will be amongst the more expensive items you buy for your home. I got mine for $300. The same price as something you would buy at IKEA. I'm basing the price of affordable furniture on IKEA because, let's be honest, that's likely where you'd buy your furniture otherwise. I'm not judging. Same. It was the first thing I bought for my home, and $300 did feel like a lot post one payment. Okay, I look so terrible, but my couch just arrived. I went with a company that was more reputable and that I could trust, as opposed to a random seller on eBay, and I was, and am very happy with it. And this is the part of the video where I style my finds, proving that old habits do die hard. Before I buy furniture, because, it's a big investment, I already have some ideas in my head as to how it fits in with the other stories happening in my apartment and my routines. I also like to pick something that gets me a little bit excited about all the little ways I can style it. I'll go through seasons of how I dress my lounge room area, and these are a few different ways. For colder seasons that need cozy, for the summer seasons that need fresh and as much cold leather to skin contact as possible. And yeah, that's all the seasons Australia has. But I also find that shaking up the way you style something every once in a while to suit the changes happening in your environment from season to season doesn't just practically make sense, it also helps you re-experience a little novelty from time to time. And also remind you that you don't need to just fast fashion it and throw it away when you're bored. People do change, and so will our environments. So bring that into your buying decisions when you are choosing something to be a little bit more flexible. Tables. They are where you invite your guests to eat your very mediocre meals. Where you sit, do, or at least try to attempt to do some work. Where you temporarily leave your books and clothes that end up just staying there forever. And where you can't help but put a vase of beautiful fresh flowers. Or dry ones. budget. It has a lot of names and offers a lot of different experiences. I found mine on Facebook Marketplace. After scrolling through enough vintage furniture sites, I knew a glass table would be a couple $100s, but I was determined that some person on Facebook Marketplace would sell it to me for cheaper, not even knowing it was chic. And I was right. Anything under $150 for a massive 4 to 6 to 8 seater, pretty decent price. I was happy. Again, I'm not saying that this is necessarily cheap. I don't think furniture is cheap at all, which is why you shouldn't buy it more than once if you can help it. Be very smart about choosing it to avoid that. But it definitely saved me spending $400 for a table at IKEA. Or $1,000 anywhere else. What I would also like for you to remember is that you spend $100 once and you use it every day. Right, an investment. If I didn't actually live on my table, working on design projects and YouTube content, I usually dress it for guests over with some cute pieces in the middle. I've had coasters with a fun print on it for meals. There's about always a vase because I love flowers. R.I.P. It's the only small concentrated pop of color I can handle, and a quick hack here if you need to trace something. Throw a light under a glass table and voila! Especially useful to anybody who does interior design. The next item is my personal bias, chairs. Chairs you sit on. Chairs that sit in the corner of the room to hang things on. Chairs that can be comfy. Chairs that are not comfy but look cute. Extra chairs that you only need for guests when they come over. If they come over. Or risk them sitting on the hard floor. Chairs that you don't even need to have matched in your home. We love it, we know it. I found mine in 2 places. The first ones I got were from Instagram, and I wanted 2 to match my dining room table. Nonu, I have their postcard on my fridge because I have the right idea and hide my ugly ass sticker. They were the most affordable, pretty chairs I could find, and although effectively seating only one ass, the better ones are always half a work of art and the other half a bum plate. So you end up paying for both. I got a discount 2 for $240 for these vintage features. I would like to also mention as part of the video that some countries just have better vintage options at more affordable prices. Unlike the US, Japan, or definitely Europe, a lot of the famous globally furniture pieces that have been around for a while were made in the Northern Hemisphere. In the case of Australia, and I'm sure some other countries, a lot of things are imported, which makes it more scarce and more expensive and more in demand. So $240 is expensive, but for the market here, it's reasonable. Coping, yes, reasonable, but still a shit ton of money. I probably wouldn't spend that much money now post-COVID and inflation, but yo. What I weirdly enjoy and get a cackle out of every time is that it doesn't 100% fit at the table. They almost unconventionally cocoon it. But like I said, I get a cackle out of it. It's a quirk. Let's go. I added these low stools, a warmer color to the other side, and it balances it out generally. Sometimes I want a cozy vibe to the chair, so I leave a fur over it during the winter, a pillow if I'm sitting on it outside or with dinner, and a pop of color sometimes to shake up the composition. I love blankets everywhere. I'm always a second away from coziness at any point in my home. My second chair was more of a last minute bargain buy. That, did I really need? Yes. No. But it was so unique, so I added it to the mix anyway. And you can use a chair in so many different ways. There's no limit. Found on Facebook Marketplace, I sometimes type in vintage chairs just because it's a bad habit, and I found this one alone for $30. Wop wop. This one is barely a bum plate, so now I think about it, $30 makes a lot of sense. It's petite, which I think is actually kind of funny. It's a lot of fun. And I'll use it at the end of the table if we need more seats for guests. I'll put it in the wardrobes, I can hang my clothes on it and my handbags. Sometimes I'll just put it up against a blank wall, the same way people with large bedrooms will just throw a chair in the corner. Not because you will sit there and just stare at your bed, but because it looks cute. And you can throw shoes on it. Why would you sit on a chair next to a bed when you could just sit on the bed? We can always put furniture in our home that we can physically use. But what about furniture that doesn't physically embody our bodies? Okay, a bit much, Yoko. So we have shelves, a place to organize all the small shiz we have. A little surface where we can put pretty things on. A cabinet of curiosities. A display of everything we like. A bit of an open treasure chest. That is also too much. I don't know. I found mine on Marketplace, where I'd been keeping my eyes open for something that would store my books, my pretty vessels, my jewelry, my keys, my Deco. After missing out on a $120 shelf that curated spaces later was selling for a couple thousand, I did some research and I found out that this strangely common shelf was an IKEA collaboration back in the 1980s with a designer called Niels Gammelgaard. If I got that on the first go, I would be freaking impressed. Niels Gammelgaard. I can't say that properly. Niels Gammelgaard. Niels Gammelgaard. Alright, I'm gonna stop butchering his name. But yeah, long story short, people were selling that for $1,000. Ah! I did not spend $1,000, $5,000. Or 4, or 3, or 2. Or 1 for that matter. Yeah, and then some people would even sell it for a fraction of that. So my nerdy furniture stalking meant that when somebody finally sold it online for a whooping $90, I was up there and picking it up before anybody can even offer better. I won. No, I'm not excited because it was a bargain. I mean, it was a bargain, to brag. I'm excited because it's a really nice shelf. It's really nice. It's kind of industrial. I like to think of it sometimes as a bit of an investment, but since having it, it is practical, it is light, it is useful, it is the perfect size. I could really style this in 100 different ways. And I have. And it would be completely different if it was yours. I have accepted that there is no finished shelf look. I just think to balance it with my practical needs of storing things like my books, give it some kind of organized sense of chaos. And for the top shelves, I unconventionally threw a lamp up there. That is way too large. There seems to be a design intuition I've been developing since starting design school, and somehow I'm still in a real world setting not choosing to use it. I love dangling plants in pretty pots from there, adding cute, quirky knickknacks, photos, and lots of different little concentrated sections of color. And it's perfect when I leave and come home to store my keys. So, up until this point, we have talked about secondhand furniture that I brought into my humble abode. I love secondhand furniture pieces, but I also want to be a little bit realistic as to some of the downsides of it. I'll show you what I mean. Secondhand furniture pieces can be so affordable because it's been used before. It will show some wear and age. It's up to you if that bothers you. Personally, I don't mind the signs of wear. I think it's part of the charm of secondhand furniture pieces. It gives everything a sense of history, a story, a little bit more alive in the way that IKEA and Target doesn't. I like to lean in to the imperfections around my space. I mean, people aren't perfect, so why should their spaces be? There's a disconnect, a bit unnatural. And secondhand furniture pieces can be cheap, but only if it's been valued less by some or a lot of people. Also, why you'll find that some vintage furniture is thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars more expensive than brand new manufactured pieces of furniture. That was a tongue twister. I was actually impressed I got that out. So, by nature, you need to dig. And you need to find things that people don't want. You gotta be less trendy, says the girl that has that. I've found these chairs in stale places looking very sad in aged care facilities that look like hospitals and airports. And then I've also seen it in Dollar Trace. The good shiz is you get to decide how you use it and how you see a piece of furniture. You don't need other people to tell you. I really love finding unique furniture. It just has a lot of personality and is less minimalistic, which can be a lot of fun. And getting creative with the solutions and how you can optimize something to better suit your space is also part of the joy of it. Challenge how you see something that you already own. Is it cute? And did something else convince you otherwise? Comment down below if you've had that experience or revelation before. But that's it for me and all my secondhand furniture finds. I did want to get into more deco and the more smaller pieces that come together and make a home more complete and personalized. But this video is too long. I'll do that in another video. Okay. I just wanted to finish this video by giving a quick shout out if you are a returning subbo or a new one. Thank you for watching this video and thank you for coming back. Getting my first 1,000 subscribers was a mission and a half, and 59 videos 4 years later. I am really grateful for the support. I want to make better content for you, and there's so many people on YouTube, Instagram, TikTok making fashion content. Personally, I think I can probably come up with some better juicy home hacks and ugly to cute home makeovers. We all want to look cute, but feel cute in our homes too. Am I right? I know some people say that it's only 1,000, but it's been pretty off and on, so I appreciate you sticking around. Okay, it's getting sappy, but I'm making videos for you, so if you have any requests, let me know going forward with this channel. Have a good week. Bye!